It's day 43 of the podcast, and we have been looking at some of the images and types of the Holy Spirit in the Old Testament. We've looked at the dove and we've looked at the breath of God for the last couple of days. Now we're going to look at an image that's directly linked with taking a spiritual journey, and this image is going to show up repeatedly and show up in 4 different types, and we're going to be looking now at the fire of God. So there's 4 stages that the fire goes through in this Exodus journey that depicts the presence, the power, and the movement of God. The first one is the image of the burning bush, the fire in the bush, but the bush isn't consumed. Then it picks up with the pillar of fire and the pillar of cloud. Then we have the fire on the mount, particularly at the giving of the law, as the law is given on the Mount Horeb. And then we have the fire in the tabernacle and the whole lampstand, the fire of the sacrifice. And just once we get to the tabernacle picture, fire plays a huge part in it. So I'm going to lay out these 4 over a period of days and then kind of pull them all together and connect them at the end. Fire throughout the scriptures, like I said, it's a symbol of God's presence, of his power, but it's also always seen as a purifying agent. It's seen as something that accomplishes God's judgment as well. I want to read Exodus 3 verses 1 through 5. Now Moses was pasturing the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the west side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a blazing fire from the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, yet the bush was not consumed. So Moses said, I must turn aside now and see this marvelous sight, why the bush is not burned up. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to look, God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Do not come near here. Remove your sandals from your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. This place where the bush is burning is holy ground, and not even Moses' shoes can remain there. He goes on to say in verse 12, after you bring out the children of Israel, you're going, certainly I will be with you. This shall be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you brought the people out of Egypt, you shall worship God at this mountain. This is going to be a place that's going to be important. It's going to display a number of God's images that are going to continue to show up throughout the Old Testament and the New Testament. This is a very important intersection of a lot of types that we're going to be looking at. I have 2 questions today. Have you ever had the first one, have you ever had a burning bush experience? And then the second one is, what worship location has been holy ground for you?